Testing, 1, 2, 3. Can everybody hear me? Voice sounds good. What's up, man? Autumn Bears, good?
Good.
Yeah, it's kind of hot up here, man. Save one for me. All right?
Yeah, we'll get you one.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I want to welcome you to day 2 of the show. I want to thank Dan Kenny and Mark Burgess for giving me the opportunity to use this platform to promote myself and promote these fine products. All the products I have here today you can find here on the floor. I'm going to debut a couple things. My subject matter today is cold water tactics that you can apply right now. I'm not an ice fisherman, so if you go out right now, there's ice there, but I guarantee you in about 2 or 3 weeks, that ice is going to melt, and you can apply these tactics and increase your catch rate. First thing I want to talk about is preparing for cold water fishing. You can't see it right now, but if I was to go outside like this, I'd still be warm. I got Under Armour base layer on, pants, Under Armour shirt. You want to wear wool socks. You want to have some waterproof boots. You want to have a couple different types of gloves. I got gloves for when it's raining out. I got gloves for when it's just cold and ice out. I got gloves to protect my hands from the skin. So like I said, I cannot overemphasize, in order to have good success on the water, you got to dress for success. Understand that. That's the first point. The second point is, you got to slow down and pump the brakes. Too many guys get to the boat ramp, they're in a rush. When you're cold water fishing, that water temperature is 36, 45 to 50 degrees. Hypothermia can set in real quick if you're not dressed properly and if you're out there rushing. That's how accidents tend to happen. So, dress properly, slow down, and you're already going to have a better day on the water to increase your success. Cold water fishing is not easy. It requires a lot of patience. First thing I like to do before I get on the water, once I take care of my boat, make sure I'm dressed properly. I keep different types of hats, keep the head warm. I know where I want to go on the water before I get there. I'm going to go out to the deepest section of the lake. I'm going to go right there, and then I'm going to start working my way into shallow water. Once I get into that 12 to 15 foot range, I'm going to start looking for cover. I'm also going to be facing a north shore. This time of year, the wind is coming from the north direction. That wind is brutally cold. The sun is shining on this side. So already, before I even start fishing, I got deep water to my right. I got shallow water to my left. The wind is blowing overhead, and the sun is shining on me. I'm already comfortable. And then again, that's a key component for success. The tactics I like to use, I'll start out with the first one. It's a spinning setup. On the business end, I got a lead-free Bass Jigs swing head jig. I got a Radfish 6-trick worm. This is a new worm color. It's called Smoked Diesel. Named it myself. You get those right over here at Radfish. Ralphie and his crew are a really good guy. The size of this right here is 1/8 ounce weight. Another thing to take into consideration is I like lighter weights for cold water fishing. The fish are very lethargic. They'll still eat. They don't want something just bumping and dumping along. They want something that's kind of subtle. And because you're fishing a little bit deeper, you want lighter line so you can feel that bait on the water. The rod I'm using of choice right now is an Ardent Tournament Pro rod. It's got a nice comfortable grip. This grip really shines when it's raining out, when it's cold out. Your hands are not going to get cold by holding on to this rod. Another tip I like to use is take a hand warmer, particularly a toe warmer because they have an adhesive backing. You put that right hand on the rod, now your hand's warm all the time. If you got a cold hand, you can't fit that lure, and you definitely can't set that hook. That equals a lost fish. I'm not all about fish stories. I catch a lot of big fish. My nickname is the Lunker Man. Look me up on social media, Sharon K. Brown, hashtag SKB Fishing. You'll see I know what I'm talking about. So with that in mind, the line I'm using is called Gliss. It's not braid, it's not fluorocarbon, it's not mono, it's not even a copolymer. It's called Gliss. It's a monotex line, manufactured in Japan. It's got a nice little coating on it. If you think about braid, it's fibers woven together. So when they start to unweave, that's when you lose the efficacy of the braid. That's when you're more likely to get break-offs. Another thing is braid doesn't work well in rock. Doesn't work well when you're ice fishing. That line starts to get really, really heavy. This stuff right here has a lot of good properties. You look at it, even though it's braid, I know you can't see this. That's low visibility. That's another advantage for clear water fishing like this. I like to use this braid, I like to use this gliss when I'm topwater fishing for poppers. I love using it on hair jigs, and I've been using it on this swing head jig with this worm right now, and I've been catching some pretty good fish. So when I take my first cast, before I even start winding, make sure I pull some line out, so I know that lure goes straight down to the bottom of the tank. Kind of call it sandwich fishing. You want to sit here, you want to chill out. Again, you want to relax, you want to slow down. If your worm is scented, if you decide to scent up your worm or your lure, it's already dispersing that scent in the water. So I already know the fish are starting to home in on it just by the scent alone. And if you notice, I haven't moved it yet. And this is how I fish. I take my first rod, twist of the line, give it a couple shakes, and I'll wait again. And all the time I'm looking at my electronics, seeing if I see anything behind me. I'm making note the way the wind goes, and again, I'm absorbing the heat. Feels good. Slow and easy is the way to go. Then I'll take another couple of hops, and I can feel the bottom, and I want to keep contact with this bottom all the way back. I call it a 5-minute presentation, and again, I'm not exaggerating. Slow is the way to go. You have to understand, when you're fishing in cold water, you're not playing whack-a-bass. It's not their time. A bass is not even a cold water creature by nature. It's a sunfish. It likes the sun. It wants to be warm. But because it's cold-blooded, its body temperature is like that of the environment. And when you're fishing in 15, 20 feet of water, water is at its densest in 36 degrees, so the water's about 36 degrees down there. So with that in mind, I start continuing my retrieve. If you look at this worm, it's got plenty of action. My favorite color is smoked with red flake, black with red flake. Again, this is the smoked diesel. What's good about this plastic is it's not, it does not have a lot of salt in there. So when you start to pierce it up, it's not going to get all those cavities. It's going to stay, the body of the worm is going to stay intact. So you can start breaking pieces off of the worm to make it smaller and smaller without compromising the worm on the hook. It's not going to start sliding down. My reel of choice is a Bolt 2000 reel. This reel right now is retailing for $50. That's a great price point. Ardent's a well-known name brand. They've been in the game for a long time. Another thing about this whole setup right here is somebody tonight is going to be able to win this thing. We're doing a trivia at 6 o'clock, and the question is, which elite pro is using this setup? You get that answer right, you get this whole setup right here. The valuation on this, the rod is going for $45, the reel's going for $50, the line's going for $10. What's that? $105. Ralphie will give you 20% off these lures, so you can get into effect and get a legit combo to increase your success right here at the show for under $120. And like I said, the reel has a 3-year warranty, no fuss, no frills. The rod comes with a 1-year warranty. Excellent setup. So to recap, when fishing in cold water, you want to dress for success. You want to take your time approaching the bank. You want to take your time putting your boat in the water. You want to have a game plan. You don't need the best electronics. Just go out to the middle of the lake and start working your way to the shoreline. Look for cover. Cover touching the water. When it's cold out, that cover absorbs heat. So that fish knows if he goes towards rock, grass, wood, anything that's touching the bank into the water, it's going to be slightly warmer. And they are there. So with that in mind, this is the tactic I use, the spinning rod, smoked diesel worm from Radfish, Ardent Rod and Reel. Again, my name is Sharon Brown. You can find me at the Ardent booth, and I'll go more into depth on using this kind of setup. We got a few other setups out there. Second thing I like to do once I start out with my finesse tactics is I like to go to some type of jig. Now I'm a big time hair jig aficionado. I don't care if it's deer hair, elk hair, bear hair, no human hair, synthetic hair. It's more breathable in the water. The fish don't like a lot of stuff going on. You're only gonna catch them two ways. You're gonna catch them with something that's on the bottom like a hair jig, or you're gonna make them react with treble hooks. I'm not debuting any treble hook tactics today, but we have a really good jerkbait rod. You come to the booth, I'll tell you more about that. Now let's get back to this subject here. The setup I'm using right now is an Ardent tournament reel. This reel right here is only $60. All graphite, really light, 6:5:1 ratio. You don't need a high-speed reel this time of year. The fish are kind of lethargic. They'll pull a little bit, but they're not gonna fight, they're not gonna jump. See that? Know what I mean? See how they're all on it? This hair jig right here, you can get this at Boghawk Baits. This is called the natural craw pattern. The plastic I'm using, just met these guys, it's called Deep Creek Lures. They're based in North Carolina. It's got a nice strong scent to it. Obviously the fish like it. It's called Crawdad pattern. The head is a brush style type of head. You can get this with weed guard or without a reed guard. This time of year when I'm fishing in the cold water, I'm not pitching and flipping, so you don't need that weed guard at all. Just kind of gets in the way. So again, I take a nice long cast. I have the gliss on here for demonstration purposes. If I was out fishing right now, I'd more likely have some fluorocarbon tied to this, just for that added sensitivity. But again, it's low visibility. The water's above 50, 55, or I'm definitely going to be more cover orientated. I'll just keep this gliss right here on the line. The rod I'm using is another Tournament Pro rod. It's a 6'10", medium heavy action. This rod, $45. Again, nice, soft, comfortable handle, great for cold water, good grip. This line is 40-pound test, but it's 6-pound diameter. It flies off the reel. A lot of people that like to fish offshore for stripers, they love this line. It casts a country mile, and you can still land one of them big girls. You get them to the boat, you get them to the shoreline, you have a picture, you go and have a fish story. Again, I don't like fish stories. So what I'm sharing with you is major tactics. I've been fishing since I was 12. I ain't gonna date myself, but I'm 46. I've been fishing all around here. I fish every body of water in about a 25-mile radius from this location here. My game is expanded up to Lake Ontario, down to Lake Will in Alabama, Candlewood Lake, Webster Lake, Manchog Pond, Demon Pond in Rutland, you name it. I've been there. And I always love to go as soon as the ice melts. If the ice is on the water in the morning, I'm asking my buddies, is the ice gone by the daytime? And I'm taking a day out of work and I'm going out there to get a lunker. And I'm gonna have a worm on there and I'm gonna have a hair jig. That's how I like to roll. So the same type of deal when you're using a jig. I'm not pitching and flipping because the fish aren't really heavy into the cover. They just want the warmth of the cover. They're not trying to hide in it. That's not why they're there for. They're not there to spawn. They're just there to absorb the sun. How many times have you guys been on the water where you see a bass just sitting there? He's chilling like an old man on the porch having a beer. You know what I mean? He's just relaxing. But if you approach him with the right type of bait, with stealth and a lot of patience, you can get that fish to bite and increase your success. And no fish stories. My name is Sharon Brown. I'm the Lunker Man. I always dress for success. Always approach the game. I love sharing experiences. I love giving people other ideas to go out there and increase their success. And it's not, you don't need to go to like Clear Lake. You don't need to go to some super prime fishery. You can go right out to your backyard, to your pond, to your boy's house, even to a river and apply these tactics. If you were in a river, the fish aren't in the current. You have to go find the backwater areas. and you'll see the same thing. Another thing about fishing rivers and backwaters is the backwater is always a lot warmer temperature. So if the river is 42 degrees, you go in that backwater, it's going to be in the 50s, and those fish will be there. But they don't really like a lot of rubber. They like the breathing, natural properties of a hair jig. A couple different colors I like to use. I like to use black and red, all black, black and brown, black and blue, and the all money natural craw pattern. These tactics you can take right to the bank. We got a couple big tournaments coming up. One is on Long Pond, Lakeville, March 30th. There's another big event on Webster Lake, I believe it's April 6th. These tactics right here will catch you some fish. I'm not going to say you're going to go win, but I definitely can guarantee you'll increase your success. Anybody has any other questions, feel free to ask. My name is The Lunker Man. You can find me on social media, hashtag SKB Fishing. Another thing in mind is the night before, when it's really, really cold out, you know, I'm not sure what's going on, I'm not sure how my boat's going to be. I get a little heater, put it under the boat cover, my boat's nice and warm, your live boat lids aren't going to be cold, your boat will be nice and ready. I'll go get some kind of scent, and I'll soak all my plastics in scent, and I'll soak my jigs in scent. So by the time this lure hits the water, those fish are ready, and you'll increase your success. My name is Sharon K. Brown, aka The Lunker Man. Look me up on social media, hashtag SKB Fishing. Anybody has any questions, I'll entertain them. If not, come on over to the Arden booth, go to Radfish Lures. Ken McKee, lead-free bass jigs, he's in the other room over there. Ken uses non-lead products made out of a combination of bismuth and tin. He's been in the game for a long time. Go over to Boghawk Baits, he's another lead-free guy, support local. He does custom hair jigs, custom rubber jigs. Tell him I sent you, get a discount, watch your dollar go a lot further. Come to the Arden booth and get this set up for $125. 3-year warranty, 1-year warranty on the rods. Reach out to me, I'll always look out for you. I'll make sure you get the best deal. That's how I roll, this is what I do. Big fish is how I produce. Thank you for your time, appreciate it. I get a little more than that?
Yeah!
All right, thank you, thank you.